Now, that was top safety Deontay Anderson committing to Ole Miss via skydiving. But he wasn't the only one that put on the red and blue hat today, as recruits all across the nation signed with Ole Miss. Good evening, I'm Browning Stubbs, and welcome to the NewsWatch Ole Miss Signing Day Special. I'm joined by Michael Snowden, Kelsey Davis, Jacob Duke. How are we doing, guys?
Doing great, Browning. How are you?
Great.
Good. I think it was a really good day for the Rebels.
Oh, doing great. Great day for the Rebels. Great signing class.
Now, many media outlets are talking about where the Rebels finished, so let's get to our graphic. As you see, different outlets have Ole Miss different places. You know, you see 24/7 Sports has Ole Miss 6th, Rival 7th, Scout 5th, ESPN 4th. I mean, what are you guys, what's y'all's instant reaction to where Ole Miss finished?
I think it's great. Hugh Freeze has preached that he can continue to bring in huge recruits, absolutely crucial to making sure that long-term success can continue, and I'm happy to see what we're seeing.
I think it's good, but honestly, I think to be perfectly honest with you, I think it's disappointing. I think it should have been top 5 across the board. I mean, just being honest. But other than that, it is a strong recruiting class. It's one of Hugh Freeze's best. So.
I agree. It was a really deep class, probably the deepest since the 2013. It was a great group of guys that Hugh Freeze got and Ole Miss got, and look forward to seeing them on the field on Saturdays.
Now, let's get to the full list of players that Ole Miss signed. We're going to start with the early enrollees. And, Michael, we got a lot of big-time names there.
Yeah, I mean, we got Shea Patterson, Greg Little. I mean, we've got some big guys coming in. Shea Patterson's got some huge talent, dual threat. He can run, he can pass. And you've got just some incredible offensive linemen in Charles Wiley and Eli Johnson. It's going to be a fun group of guys to see them play and get them going.
And, Kelsey, a lot of offensive firepower in this class.
Right. You added a lot of offensive players to an offense that was already on a roll at the end of the season. But my 2 favorites out of this list of players are Greg Little. I think he's going to be the next big thing for Ole Miss, the next big left tackle to come out of here. And Devon Penniman. He's strong. You watch him run over players in high school. And he played against good competition. So I think those are going to be your 2 big standouts in this offensive.
Jacob, we saw some good defensive players on the early enrollees. Are there any more names that stand out to you defensively?
Oh, yes, his linebacker, Tariqius Tisdale, is a 3-star of Lexington, Kentucky. Now, he played a lot of running back in high school, and this is a big running back, 6'5", 240 pounds. Not your average running back, but it might be a big adjustment to being a linebacker in the SEC. And then there's a 4-star kicker, Justin Trett. It's an odd sign. He's an onside kick specialist. He was a 2014 4A state champion. But I'm excited to see how this will work out.
Hugh Freeze must be very happy. And after the fax machine stopped buzzing and the recruits sent in their letters of intent, Coach Hugh Freeze held his National Signing Day press conference. Here's what the Ole Miss head coach had to say about the new Rebels.
Ole Miss football finished with a top 10 recruiting class this year, and Coach Freeze is excited and ready to get these guys into uniform.
We feel like it is top to bottom the best class that we've had, and we've had some good ones. You know, we're consistently bringing in, top players, and I think that's why we continue to improve on the field. But couldn't be more pleased with the young men that have joined us and their families. Can't wait to go to work with them.
Although this year's class is unique in its own way, players like A.J. Brown and Benito Jones can't help but remind Coach Freeze of the talented 13 class.
And then topping it off today, getting the announcement with A.J. Brown, who I compare to Laquan Treadwell. You know, Benito Jones, he's got to get off of Isaac Gross with about 50 more pounds. Gabe Angel's already here. I think he's in the mode of Evan Ingram also. I mean, looking at paper, I think this one's deeper, and that's just paper.
One position that the Rebels desperately needed to upgrade was offensive line, and boy, did they do that.
Offensive line, many are saying it may be the best in the nation as a unit. I don't know if that's accurate, but I know we're really pleased. We think these kids and families fit ideally with who we are.
Coach Freeze was not too happy about the recent allegations released by the NCAA and had this to say about it.
Kind of coming down the stretch.
I don't think it blunted any momentum. That maybe it hurt us in a couple of those battles that where kids were undecided. I don't really know. I mean, I'm sure it didn't help. The timing of that and the way it was put out, I think, is quite peculiar, and I wasn't crazy about that. But you know, how a source from the NCAA supposedly leaked it to someone, or if that's the story, I don't know. All of that just doesn't seem to add up.
But the day was an all-around success, and there's plenty of excitement to go around. For NewsWatch, I'm Alex Gonzalez.
Now, imagine growing up and living in the same place for 18 years of your life. Same town, same friends, same school. Seems like you would continue that track record, right? You would guess that, but for Starkville wide receiver A.J. Brown, he disappointed his hometown. Daniela Oropeza has more.
The next 3-4 years, I'll be taking my talents to the University of Mississippi.
Starkville High School had an exciting morning as A.J. Brown signed with the Ole Miss football program. The 6'2" wide receiver was a 4-star recruit. He had to choose between Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, and the University of California. When he was asked what set the Rebels apart from the other schools, Brown said it was the coaches.
Me talking to him numerous times, you know, I felt wanted.
He is looking forward to playing with Shea Patterson, Chad Kelly, and some other future Rebel teammates. His mother is also very thrilled that her son gets the opportunity to play for Ole Miss.
For him to be able to go to the next level and just doing what he's loved, it's just an honor and a privilege. So I'm just excited to be a part of it.
His commitment vaulted the Rebels recruiting class up in the rankings. He will join Hugh Freeze's team this summer.
I'm glad it's over. I'm beyond glad it's over. I'm ready to go back to square one and go to work.
Though he's from Bulldog country, the Starkville native's decision seemed to make classmates happy. Greg Jones, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Now let's go in depth about A.J. Brown. The Starkville native is the 5th-ranked wide receiver in the country and is the 3rd-ranked player in the state of Mississippi. Now, Michael, when we look at some of the great wide receivers at Ole Miss, Laquan Treadwell, just kind of tell me how you think he compares to him.
Well, Treadwell and Brown have a lot of similarities, Browning. Treadwell and Brown are about the same height. They've got that same athletic build, a lot of speed and a lot of smarts. But what Hugh Freeze really talking about A.J. Brown was he said he loved how Brown was more into like his own decision. He wanted him to feel like he was at home making the right decision with what he was going to do, what made him happy. And he knew Ole Miss is a wide receiver school, and picking Ole Miss is good for him, good for the school. And Brown will contribute and take the torch right from Treadwell. He'll be expected to come in and do a lot, but he'll have some help with Lodge and a couple of other wide receivers Ole Miss has as well.
Kelsey, he's a Starkville native.
Right.
I mean, how much of a shock is this that he didn't pick MSU?
I think that I can see how some people think that it is a shock, but if he was going to Mississippi State, he's been in Starkville. He's had time to commit. He has family who goes to Mississippi State. If that's what he felt like was right, I think that he would have done it way earlier because he's right there. But honestly, I think that he got his last official visit in Ole Miss last weekend. We were the last people that got to talk to him. Plus, he's coming here as a two-sport athlete. He's going to get to play baseball in a good baseball program, too. So it's not just about the football. I think it's an overall a good fit, and I don't think it's that surprising.
Jacob, a lot of wide receivers on this Ole Miss team. How do you see A.J. fitting in?
Yeah, Ole Miss is being called the new wide receiver university. He'll be stuck behind Derek Jones, Quincy Adeboyejo, and DeMarcus Lodge, and also a DK Metcalf coming in. He's going to have to earn his time and really work at it, but he's a big physical receiver, and I think his playing time will come, and he'll be a big playmaker in this offense for a long time.
I agree. I think he's going to be great. Now, Ole Miss continued to dominate Mississippi players. North Pinola's Justin Connor officially signed to play for the Rebels today from Sardis. Meredith Parker was there and has the latest.
I think today is just a culmination of what happened in high school, but he's starting off again as a freshman.
Two-year commit Justin Connor signed with Ole Miss this morning at North Pinola High School with family, friends, and coaches. Although he played both cornerback and running back, Connor signed with the Rebels as a cornerback and looks forward to finally beginning his journey with Ole Miss.
I mean, it's like a dream come true. You know, I've been pitching this since I was in Little League football, since I was 6 years old. You know, I never thought I'd be in this shoes, come from a small town, Southern Mississippi. I'm just blessed. I'm excited for me and my family. We just ready to get to work.
Connor committed to Ole Miss in August 2013, but shortly after faced obstacles including a broken fibula. Head coach Derek King contributes his comeback to much dedicated time and hard work.
I think it was really just getting him back into the place where he was at his optimal level, physically and mentally, and then it was able to actually come to fruition on the field because he had always wanted to have a 1,000-yard season. He wanted 15 touchdowns. That was the goal he set before the season. He ended up with, I think, 1,617 touchdowns. So it was really cool to see that come together for him.
I broke my leg. It made me more strong. I had to be wise and be more smart on the field. And, it impacted me a lot, and it made me a greater player.
The four-star recruit was recognized as a Clarion Ledger Dandy Dozen and played in the offensive-defensive All-American game. Justin Connor spent countless hours here at his home field at North Panola High School in Sardis, Mississippi. But next fall, he'll suit up in Vaught Hemingway Stadium as an Ole Miss Rebel.
I'm just so excited. Justin has played both sides of the football since he's been in school. So wherever Ole Miss puts him, I'll be right there to cheer him on in red and blue.
Just learn from the older guy. I got 3 cousins over there, and so I'm going to learn from them. And getting in the weight room and getting in the film room and just try to get better every day.
Meredith Parker, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Let's dive into some information about Justin Connor. Of course, the Sardis native was actually ranked the number 14th ranked running back in the country. And also, he's got a lot of speed. Michael, let's just talk about him on the defensive end. Who do you think he compares to on this team? I've heard a lot of Tony Connor comparisons.
Well, Browning, when you look at Tony Connor and Justin Connor, their sizes are very identical. They have a lot of the same speed, kind of the same talent, can get off of the line really quickly. It's going to be interesting to see how Hugh Freeze uses Connor, because you've got a couple of different running backs. You've got Akeem Judd, the #1 running back from JUCO last year. You've got Jordan Wilkins, who's still in the move of things, and it's good to have that player that you can use defensively and offensively, maybe throw some of the coaches off on the play calls. So it'll be good to see, and it'll be interesting to see what all happens with Justin Connor.
Kelsey, of course, he was ranked the number 14th running back in the country, but Hugh Freeze has asked him to play some defensive back. Of course, he said yes. So what does that say about Connor's character?
Right. I think it honestly says a lot about his character. First of all, it says that he just loves the game. It's not about playing a certain position. It's not about doing a certain thing or any notoriety. It's just that he loves the game. Second of all, I think it really says that he thinks about the team more than himself. He's not saying, well, I want to be a running back. I want to carry the ball. He's willing to do whatever his coach asks him to. It's for the team. It's not for him. And third of all, I really think that it shows that he buys into this program. He trusts Coach Freeze and Coach Freeze's plan for him. He thinks that Coach Freeze has his best intentions at heart, and I think that it shows that he really buys into it and he believes in this program.
Jacob, Ole Miss trying to get stronger in the secondary. Guys like Trey Ilston, Mike Hilton are gone. So, could you see real playing time from Connor right away?
Well, it's safe to say Tony Bridges has that corner spot locked up. He's really going to have to work at it. I know he played some corner in high school, but, covering SEC wide receivers can be a tall task. I can see him probably getting some playing time in some and maybe mop-up games such as Wofford or Georgia Southern.
Great first block, guys, and we've got more signings to get to, and we'll be joined by one of the biggest recruits out of Oxford High School. You don't want to miss this. Our NewsWatch Signing Day special will continue after this break.
Football is a game that you're going to get knocked down, and you're going to make a mistake, whether you miss a tackle or you miss a read or you blow a coverage or miss a block. Those things are going to happen, but you can't cry over spilt milk. You got to get up and go again. To my regular cleats, and just from how I got the picture.
Coach Hill really set the bar as a head coach, in my opinion, because Coach not only taught you how to play a game, he taught you how to be a better person. And he was really good at that. He was a role model, somebody you could look up to and go to if you needed anything.
I started playing football when I was 11. If my math right, that's 50 years of football I've been involved with. And that's every day, all my life, and I love the game of football, still love it, and still enjoy coaching, still enjoy that. But it's really time for me I've got a lot of grandkids. There's some things that I want to do that I can't do because as a coach and AD, you don't have time to do those things.
Go Johnny, a Rebel Watch production.
Want a free pizza from Domino's? Well, just have some game nights, late nights, and bro time. With Domino's new Piece of the Pie rewards, you can earn a free pizza after just 6 online orders of $10 or more. Whoa! So, keep having dance-offs, pizza cakes, and hot dates. You'll have a free pizza in no time. Sign up to get your piece of the pie at Domino's.com.
Welcome back. I'm Jack Bergersian, and I'm joined by DK Metcalf. Welcome to our site.
Thank you.
So you've been committed to Ole Miss since your sophomore year.
Yes.
What is it like to be officially an Ole Miss Rebel?
I've been an Ole Miss Rebel since the 9th grade. So just to, just sign the papers and make it official is just a blessing.
And I know you were at the Sugar Bowl Sugar Bowl a few weeks ago. How exciting is it to think that's going to be you next year?
It was very exciting, I was just sitting there just taking it all in. I was very excited for the team. I felt like I was already on the field with the vibe and all of the fans around me. It just felt great.
And are you excited to be joining your friends? You've got a couple on the team for next year.
Yeah, I'm over there almost every day of the week. I hang with Quincy and D-Lodge all the time. It's just going to be fun next year.
So you're just ready to graduate and come here?
Yeah. I'm
okay.
just ready.
And so earlier, Corbin Horman was telling me that you guys are going to room together next year. Is that a rumor? Are you guys actually going to be the cutest roommates ever?
I don't know about cutest roommates ever, but I was thinking about rooming with AJ or Trey, just so we could, talk about some of the plays or, just go ahead and start building a relationship early since we're going to be with each other 24/7 all next year. So might as well start early.
Definitely. And what do you think you're going to bring to the team next year?
I'm just going to try to, come in and work hard and, just fill whatever void's missing. Whether it's, blocking, I'll get out there and block, red zone, anything, defense, whatever Coach Freeze needs me to do, I'll just go out there and do it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations, and we're so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Jack, and we'll check in with you later in the broadcast. But right now, let's talk about one big recruit that unfortunately Ole Miss did not get, and that's Jeffrey Simmons from Knoxville County. Daniela Oropezil traveled to Macon, Mississippi today to talk to this 5-star signing.
For the next 4 years, I'll be attending.
Five-star defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons announced that he will attend Mississippi State University in the fall.
Mississippi State, it's best for me right now because with the family atmosphere they give, I'm not saying that, Ole Miss, Alabama don't give it, but, the decision could have been either way, so I just prayed about it, and I think God led me to Mississippi State.
Simmons' decision came as an upset to Ole Miss in Alabama and as a shock to several, including head coach Tyrone Shorter.
I stand up here and lie to you if it wasn't. I thought it was going to come down to Ole Miss and Alabama.
It shocked a lot of people because, a lot of people thought I was going to Alabama. A lot of people thought I was going to Ole Miss. But, it's not about, just satisfying other people. I feel like, it's best for me, so I feel like I made the right choice.
According to Coach Shorter, Simmons was undecided up until moments before the National Signing Day ceremony.
He was undecided this morning, and him and his family was, I don't know what really was going on, but it was kind of like some tension there, and they asked me to leave. So I left, and next thing I know, he signed Mississippi State.
Compared to other top recruits, Simmons kept quiet during a majority of his recruitment process.
I call it like being humble. I mean, I think I did a good job being quiet and humble. So, I mean, once you just think big time, just get, big head. So, I mean, I stay humble with it. Yes.
Simmons' family brought pictures of Simmons in his Mississippi State uniform. According to Coach Shorter, Simmons is very family-oriented, and Simmons said he feels at home and with family at State.
It's just the opportunity I think I get, and just the family atmosphere. Like I said, when I'm there, it's just like when I went to my official, when I hung out with the players, it just felt like I was already in.
For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Daniela Oropeza.
Well, let's get into Jeffrey Simmons. He would have been a great replacement for Robert Kimdichie. The Macon native is huge, 6'3", 277 pounds, and is the top-ranked player in the state of Mississippi. Michael, I think you can understand if the guy wants to go to Alabama, picks the national champions, but it goes to Mississippi State. A.J. Brown didn't even go there. I mean, why do you think he chose MSU?
Well, there's a couple of ways you can look at it, Browning. I mean, you've got, first of all, being at home in Starkville. It's hard to leave that town and go to your rival. I mean, imagine DK headed to Starkville. That would just be awful. People in Oxford would hate it. But it's just a major key in just seeing how the home grow will go. I think it'll be interesting to see why he picked Mississippi State. Obviously, they're not going to be that top-tier team in the West. They've got to compete with Ole Miss. They've got to compete with Alabama, LSU. Auburn's getting better. So he's probably doing this out of home growth. Unfortunately, Ole Miss did not pick him up, but we still do have Benito Jones, and I think that defensive line and defensive tackles will still be very fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing them all out there.
Kelsey, Ole Miss, dominant defensive line, Breland Speaks, Marquise Haynes, Benito Jones.
Right.
I mean, do you think MSU was attractive because he would probably get early playing time there?
Absolutely. I think that's what made Mississippi State the most attractive because, like you said, and like Michael said, we have Benito Jones coming in. We already have a very set, very strong defensive line, and I think that coming in, he wouldn't get playing time right away. So that early playing time is absolutely what is most attractive to him for Mississippi State.
Jacob, you would have liked to have had more depth at that position. So how do you think losing out on Simmons is going to affect the D-line down the road?
It was a big miss on Simmons, but I think we're still deep at the D-line, like you guys said, with Haynes and Breland Speaks, and with Benito Jones, the number 4 defensive tackle, and Charles Wiley as well. I think we're deep at the position, and he can have fun at Starkville.
Now let's get to some special teams. Have you ever wanted a kicker who is awesome? Kelsey Charette has more.
6 players moving on to play college football as they continue their education. I think that's worthy of a round of applause.
Found in Little Rock, Arkansas, Pulaski Academy athlete Justin Charette celebrates his National Signing Day by joining the Ole Miss Rebels as a preferred walk-on.
One of those kids that you look at him, he gets more out of his size than almost anybody in the United States. For us, Justin had 158 tackles and 11 interceptions over his career. He had over 40 passes broken up. Justin Charette stepped up, had over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns in that game. So he also ended up with 300 yards receiving and 4 TDs this year on top of all that.
Pulaski Academy, also known as the school that never punts, used Charette not only for regular play, but uniquely for their onside kicks.
To be playing kicker and kickoff guy, and Coach Rip was really persuasive and really excited to have me on board, and it's just been a process, and I'm enjoying all of it. It's always been a dream of mine to play Division I football and have the opportunity to go to an SEC school, especially one as great as Ole Miss. It's just a dream come true.
Charette is one of the many high school athletes whose dreams hopefully came true on this National Signing Day. Megan Snell, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Guys, Justin Charette, let's take a look at the graphic. He is a onside kicker specialist. I mean, this guy has been on ESPN all of the time and is a he's a 4-star recruit. Michael, do you think Hugh Freeze will try to put more onside kicks in the playbook because of him?
It's certainly possible, Browning. I mean, look at Alabama, for instance. I mean, they were, having that issue with Clemson, onside kick, won the national title. So anything's possible. I think we're going to see a lot more of Gary Wunderlich, though. He's still, that #1 kicker that we got from a few years back. But it is certainly possible to see Charette come and do this. He's a fantastic kicker from the film that we've seen. And it'll be interesting to see. Hugh Freeze has seen a little bit of trickery. But this could be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this one.
Kelsey, the current kicker, Gary Wunderlich out of Memphis, he's been pretty solid his first 2 years, but had a couple misses here and there. I mean, do you think Wunderlich could have some competition at the job?
No. I really don't, to be perfectly honest with you.
I think that Gary Wunderlich has more experience. This kid's coming fresh out of high school, you know what I mean? And it's really cool that he does a lot of onside kicks. Like, that's awesome. It's really cool that he's good at that, but he doesn't have the same experience in like the field goal and the kickoff game as much as Gary Wunderlich does. And I think that Gary Wunderlich, going into his junior year, he has 2 years under his belt. He's made those mistakes, and now that he's getting into his being an upperclassman, he won't make those same mistakes.
Now, Jacob, the kicker, it's a very important position. I mean, just how important do you think it is? Because, we see the national championship game, Alabama wins by 5 points. That's 2 field goals.
Yes, well, in the SEC, it can be a field position battle. Every point is important. Having a great kicker is key. For Ole Miss, I think Wunderlich will be that kicker. I don't think Charette takes his job just yet. I think he'll kind of learn from Wunderlich, but I think Wunderlich will be the kicker for Ole Miss this year.
All right, now earlier in the recruiting process, our very own Madison Amon got the chance to catch up with Greg Little and another Ole Miss commit from Allen High School and quarterback Jalen Jones.
With National Signing Day just around the corner, Rebel fans are in a frenzy with the news of all the new commits. I had a chance to speak with 2 of those commits straight out of Allen, Texas.
In recent years, Allen High School has been the top dog of high school football, not only in Texas, but in the nation. A winning program such as that creates several incredible athletes. Fortunately for Rebel fans, 2 of those talented athletes out of Allen will be coming to Ole Miss. While both Jalen Jones and Greg Little had multiple offers from other schools, the choice to choose Ole Miss was a comforting one.
They're all good places, I just Ole Miss when I went down there. I feel like home, and I feel like something I can I can be there, be successful there, so might as well just commit here.
Me choosing Ole Miss, it definitely had to do with the coaching staff. Most importantly, that coaching staff I felt most comfortable with them. The program's obviously amazing, and I wanted to go SEC, but what really got Ole Miss the favorite of me is just the coaching staff, like I said.
While the news of such a talented recruiting class this year comes shocking to some, the Rebels have steadily been on the rise and improving their overall records since their arrival of head coach Hugh Freeze in 2011. With such a talented team in Oxford already, the opportunity to join the Rebels and help to continue to improve the Ole Miss team is exciting.
Ole Miss is already known for a pretty good defense, but I think our D-line and the DBs, I think we're going to add some more swagger to it. Not that they don't have it already, but I think this class coming in is really going to help out the defense.
We lose a pretty big piece this year in Larry Tunsil, but I feel like we have a lot of young guys that are ready to step up, and I'm excited to bond with those 5 guys on the offensive line and accomplish something bigger than just like personal success. Hopefully win the national championship and bring back to Oxford.
While the loss of multiple seniors is a big one, the incoming class will definitely have a big role to fill. And with all the talk of Greg filling in Laramie's shoes, the spot to fill comes as an honor.
People try to compare me to Laramie, but I'm Gregory, he's Laramie, so it's an honor to play the same position and at the same school as Laramie Tunsil. He's a great mentor, he's a great person, so I'm definitely honored to be in that role.
Overall, the anticipation of being able to play at Ole Miss and being a part of a talented team can't be contained.
Just to see how far our team goes, we definitely have some good players coming in, and the players are already there now, and I feel like Ole Miss is a couple more pieces away from being a national championship team, so I feel like we can do something really special there.
I can't wait to play in that stadium. Just seeing the student section and how committed the fans are and how loyal they are, I've witnessed it once, and it's amazing. I can't wait.
You can see Greg Little and Jalen Jones in the fall in Vaught Hemingway Stadium. For Rebel Watch, this is Madison Amon.
So let's take a look at these Allen, Texas boys, starting with Greg Little, one of my personal favorite signees. I mean, the guy is the 3rd ranked player in the state of Texas at a 6'5" and a massive 305 pounds. Now, on the other hand, the other Ole Miss commit, his teammate Jalen Jones, is the 19th overall corner and ranks 219th overall in the country. Michael Madison was saying that Laramie Tunsil had an impact on him coming to Ole Miss. What do you know about what Laramie might have told him about coming to Rebel Nation?
Well, when you look at the process, Browning, Laramie Tunsil is probably going to be the #1 pick in the NFL draft. It's Tennessee Titans need someone from Mariota. But Greg Little has a fantastic chance to fill that spot, and he sees if I can live up to Laramie's shadow, I can probably become that #1 pick, and he's going to be a guaranteed starter. He's going to be a huge piece of this offensive line for Ole Miss, and he's a bright spot in the future, and he's a solid 305 with muscle. That's the most impressive part. Laramie was just like that too. Not just a fat, big guy that's just trying to go out there and do things. All muscle, very powerful, very quick. Going to be very fun to watch him protect Chad and try to get some great plays.
Kelsey, Jalen Jones, kind of a bit of an unknown, kind of undershadowed by Greg Little and all these other guys. So what do you know about him?
I know that I like him. I think he's a great get for Ole Miss. First of all, he's coming out of Allen, Texas, as you heard Madison say, where they were dominant, and there's been good competition in that high school league. So I really think that with him being close to Greg Little and him being a big hitter, he's going to be a great get.
Now, Ole Miss is also getting some other guys from the state of Texas. Jacob, what can you tell me?
All right, well, you got running back Devon Penniman. He had Ole Miss fans on the edge of their seats. He's flip-flopping between Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas A&M. But, he chose Ole Miss today. He's a huge physical back, power runner, 220 pounds. And, it's great to get that guy, that can just bust through the hole. He's great cuts for his size. You also have Deontay Anderson, #1 safety out of Manville, Texas. He's a great motor. He's a huge hitter. He can disrupt the pass. And, he'll jump out of a plane to tell us he's committing to Ole Miss. And then you have defensive back Greg Eisworth out of Grand Prairie, Texas. This man is a pure athlete. He played quarterback in high school. He has great speed. He reminds me a lot of Cody Pruitt. He's really excited about this kid. He's a big hitter, and I'm excited to see all of them out there.
Now, bringing things closer to home, we'll look at some of our local recruits from Oxford and Lafayette high schools. NewsWatch Sunny Day continues right after this.
Oxford kept showing up.
The Ole Miss Rebelettes are currently recruiting cheerleaders and dancers ages 5 to 17 to join the basketball Junior Rebels team. Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime to perform in the brand new pavilion at Ole Miss at halftime of the men's basketball game versus Vanderbilt on Saturday, February 6th. Be sure to register by February 4th to secure your spot and reserve your tickets. Join the Junior Rebels team and hotty toddy.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
DK Metcalf and Corbin Harmon have been the talk around Oxford today after signing with Ole Miss. But Metcalf and Harmon aren't the only two who will move on as college football players and teammates.
Quarterback Jack Abraham and tight end Zach Kauser are looking forward to their future together at Louisiana Tech.
I was solid with Tulane, and then when I decommitted from there, he talked to me every day about it, and was trying to recruit me, and that's when everything started picking up with him, and it worked out for the best.
I guess just knowing somebody already when I go down there, and I don't know, I mean, we dreamed about it. We talked about it a lot, like all middle school, about how we want to play college football. And great things happen when we can play together.
Kauser and Abraham are not only looking forward to playing together, but also the opportunity to play for Coach Skip Holtz and assistant coach Joe Sloan.
Well, they're really the first school that ever talked to me, and they weren't the first school to offer me, but I mean they've been with me like since the beginning, and I mean I just grown so close with the tight ends coach, Coach Sloan, and then their offense is just like basically the same thing that we ran at Oxford, so it's an easy fit for me.
He's a great guy. You can tell he knows football, and obviously because his dad was the best coach ever. It's going to be an honor to play under him.
Today was bittersweet for Abraham as he moves forward as a collegiate football player, but at the same time, he will be parting ways with longtime fellow teammate and friend DK Metcalf.
It's pretty sad, going apart in our different ways, but
so you were?
We made some special things happen all the way from 3rd grade up to 12th grade. Him and Zach are two of my best friends, and they always will be for the day I die, and I love him to death. And, I know he's one of the special things at Ole Miss.
Abraham will begin training with Louisiana Tech starting in March, and Kauser will follow in May as they prepare for their first year as collegiate football players. Victoria Lanza, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Corbin Harmon committed to Ole Miss as a preferred walk-on. He got offers to play from 6 other schools. However, he chose Ole Miss because of Coach Freeze's reputation and the university's sense of community.
I'm so excited right now. My stomach's rumbling all day and just like ready to be a Ole Miss Rebel.
Both of Harmon's parents attended Ole Miss and are excited to watch him play. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now let's get to the Oxford Chargers. Michael, we'll start with the quarterback and tight end, Jack Abraham, Zach Kauser. They had great chemistry. They've been growing up together. Just kind of talk about how that chemistry impacted them to both go to Louisiana Tech.
Right. Well, I think a lot of people forget that these are just high school kids and that they are going into college as freshmen, not really knowing what to expect. And it's great when you've got that friend there that'll be with you along for the ride. You'll be ready to go. And there will be a little bit of chemistry, and hopefully that can incorporate into the game. I think Kauser and the quarterback will continue to grow. I think they will help Louisiana Tech tremendously. And I look forward to seeing what they do down there in the future. I think they've got a bright future together, and I think Louisiana Tech can do pretty well with them.
Now, Kelsey, a lot of experts say, oh, Shea Patterson built this class. But DK Metcalf's been committed since the summer of 2013.
Right.
I mean, how do you think his, when he committed back at, years ago, like how do you think that has impacted this class? Like
you said, and like we just heard him say, he's been an Ole Miss Rebel since his freshman year. There was really no question. And I think the fact that he stayed committed so long really shows that he buys into this program and trusts these coaches. He believes in what Coach Freeze is doing here. And if you've heard Coach Freeze in interviews, that's what he says. He says, we just have to get these kids to buy in. And so the fact that he buys in, he believes in this, and then you have Shea come and commit. They kind of set the bar for this recruiting class. They said, here's a huge wide receiver recruit. Here's a huge quarterback recruit. They're going to come down here and rock this offense. Come with them. You want to be part of that. It makes you want to be part of that recruiting class. And I think that he absolutely helped build the recruiting class in that way.
Jacob, these Oxford Chargers, 3 straight state championship games. They've been close every single year. But now they're off to college. So what do you think they learned from those experiences, and how do you think that'll carry over to the college game?
Yeah, like you said, I think they've learned from these experiences. It's got to be hard losing 3 in a row. I think they're going to work hard at the next level, and I feel like they're going to be motivated to win. They're going to strive to be the best. They're going to want to beat the best. They're just really going to want to win at the next level. And
now let's move on to another local school that's also had a big signing day today. Eli Johnson, offensive lineman from Lafayette High School, enrolled at Ole Miss this semester, but was able to return to his former high school for today's signing ceremony. Madison Heil has the details on Johnson's signing.
Eli, we're extremely proud of him and excited.
Eli Johnson, a 3-star recruit and the number 4 center in the nation, officially signed with the University of Mississippi.
You know, growing up a fan, you know, that was my biggest thing. So growing up a fan, wanting to play there, and then it's an in-state school, so that was big.
You know, Eli, from the time he's been in junior high, you know, all the way through high school, you know, he's wanted to play college football. I know it's been a dream of his.
Back on his old stomping grounds, Johnson joined his family and friends at Lafayette High School.
You know, I love this place. You know, I'm so glad the opportunity I had at this place. So it's got a special place in my heart. So it was awesome to, you know, come back and then, you know, see, you know, a pretty good turnout. So I was real happy with that.
The 6'3", 290-pound Oxford native ended his high school career with a bang as he helped the Lafayette Commodores to a 9-3 record and led the rushing attack that racked up over 2,700 yards and 46 touchdowns. Johnson was also named first-team All-State.
He's been probably the hardest worker I've ever coached in 21 years of football, and you know, Ole Miss is going to get a really good football player who's going to work hard for him.
Though Johnson played offensive tackle for the Commodores, he will be joining the Rebels as their future center, and he seems hopeful.
I feel like it's the best fit for me, you know, from a physical standpoint and a mental standpoint. You know, I think I can, physically, it kind of shows my strengths and hides my weaknesses a little bit.
Johnson already enrolled at Ole Miss this semester and continues to receive support along the way.
It's fun, you know, we got workout twice a day, and that's fun, and go to class, so I really enjoyed it, though. It's a really good opportunity.
He is on cloud 9. He is living his dream, and we're right there with him.
Madison Heil, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Now, several other Lafayette Commodores signed as well. Our workhorse, David Kennedy, has more on where the rest of the doors landed.
National Signing Day heated up at Lafayette High School this morning as 8 players signed with schools across the state. 3-star offensive lineman Jordan Jamison accepted an offer to play for UAB.
Well, I'm looking forward to bring the program back and come back strong and hopefully go for a national championship.
Commodores running back Terrell Price made the decision to take the junior college route, signing with East Mississippi.
Being able to interact with other players and just the physicality in college, you know, I know it's going to be harder than high school, so I'm just looking for the challenge. So I just want to go out there and work hard and be able to see how good I am, you know, playing against better people. It'll really show your strength, so that's what I plan to do.
Joining Price at East Mississippi will be linebacker Quinn Jones.
I mean, this whole process, it's been up and down. It's been real crazy. I mean, hearing stuff from other coaches, hearing all type of stuff, but just kind of falling back with my mom, my family, and my coaches, and all my teammates, and just getting their feedback, it helped me a whole lot just to make the right decision. I feel like I did that.
Some other players decided to raise their stock by going to community college in hopes of eventually getting a Division I offer. Both strong safety Zeke Liggins and wide receiver Rashawn Rocket signed with Northeast Community College.
I feel like if I go to junior college, it'll get me more prepared.
And headed to Kahoma Community College is linebacker Keontre Tolles and wide receiver Jawine Kynes.
Just improving my game, you know, NFL linebackers on staff, and that's really why I made the decision, you know, to work on my craft and everything.
Just coming up right in and starting, just to help the team and build chemistry with the coaches and stuff.
David Kennedy, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Let's break the Commodores down more now. Michael, we saw last year early in the season, Ole Miss had some offensive line troubles with Laramie being out, Justin Bell. So, you know, do you think that Eli Johnson could have a chance to step in right away?
I do. I think if he works hard enough in the offseason, I think if he gets the groove going. The thing about Johnson that a lot of people don't realize is this guy can move all across the line. He can play center, he can play right guard, he can do anything you need him to do, and that's going to give him more of an advantage when it comes time for him to get on the field. He'll probably more than likely be a center as far as when he is on the field, but if there are injuries, he will move up.
Kelsey, Terrell Price, and, you know, I'm going to look in the camera. This is one of the greatest high school football players that I personally ever seen, and I was kind of disappointed he did not receive a D1 offer. Kelsey did receive a JUCO offer. I mean, I'm going to put money on it that he's going to dominate in JUCO and end up getting a D1 offer down the road. Can you see that happening as well?
Absolutely. I think he has all the talent and all the potential in the world. That's not the issue. The issue is he's a 2-time All-State running back who got caught stealing things from a lunch cart in the pub. So his question is whether or not he can do the right thing, stay out of trouble at JUCO, and play like he knows how to, and he'll have a D1 offer in any minute.
Jake, at Lafayette losing a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of guys on defense. How do you see them developing next year?
Well, the best players are graduating, such as Eli Johnson, Jordan Jamison. I don't think the future looks too bright for Lafayette. They have a lot of core guys in that group that are gone.
Now, it's one of the most exciting days of the year here at Ole Miss. Chandler Morgan tells us how some local favorites are celebrating the big day when NewsWatch Ole Miss returns.
Domino's? Well, just have some game nights, late nights, and bro time. With Domino's new Piece of the Pie rewards, you can earn a free pizza after just 6 online orders of $10 or more. Whoa! So, keep having dance-offs, pizza cakes, and hot dates. You'll have a free pizza in no time. Sign up to get your piece of the pie at Domino's.com.
Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide.
Welcome back to NewsWatch's Signing Day special. I'm Chandler Morgan. All eyes are on the new recruits coming to Ole Miss, but no one's looking more closely than current Ole Miss Rebel team. Lacey McKinley caught up with the current Rebel quarterback, Chad Kelly.
The 2015 football season was one for the ages. Kickoff for the 2016 season won't start until August, but as far as the Ole Miss players and coaches are concerned, the season started today. New players mean a new strategy, and starting quarterback Chad Kelly is excited about the possibilities.
I mean, we have literally put together a whole army full of people, and I can't wait for all the guys to get here and get ready to work. And I think just to the guys that have signed, I mean, you just got to come to work every single day and wanting to be the best, and you can get to the top as long as you think about it every single day and just work hard.
So Kelly has a special message for Ole Miss fans.
Expect the SEC championship and the national championship because we're going to get it.
Other Ole Miss players are happy about the signing class. Savannah Brantley has that story.
So now to get to a 10th win and continue to build his program. And as I said earlier, recruiting class at anywhere from number 1 to number 5 by everybody's estimate. And all those recruits that watch tonight see an Ole Miss program that's going in the right direction.
In Hugh Freeze's 4 years, he has managed to instill good values in these men on and off the field while creating a solid foundation for the Ole Miss family.
Coach Freeze really sold me because I saw how committed he was to the program. He was going to do everything he could to be involved in every aspect, not just the head coaching position, and let people below him do all the work. He was going to get on the ground. He was going to talk to every recruit. He was going to fly everywhere, just like all the other coaches, and meet with these guys and really stay on top of them. And I believe that he will turn this program around because at the time, you know, before I signed here, we were 2-10, and I said, you know, I really believe that he can do this, and I believe the coaches, we're going to be coaches that will have my back, not just in football, but in life.
We are reminded on signing day why these young men are attracted to be an Ole Miss Rebel. They say Hugh Freeze commits himself to these young men before they even arrive.
I'm really excited about this class. Just hanging out with them on their visits and getting to know them as people and as hard workers. I'm really excited. They're ready to come in and help do something special here.
These boys are comfortable and excited to leave behind their legacy for the class of 2016. There is no limits for this unstoppable team.
For the next 3 to 4 years, they're going to build onto this program, and
succeed and hopefully get an SEC championship and a national championship.
Savannah Brantley, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Now the Rebels have kept the momentum going with an explosion of excitement seen throughout the day on social media. All day long, the Ole Miss football Twitter account has been tweeting out all of the newest Rebel recruits, along with a mini preview for each announcement of a player. Some of the earliest player announcements, picking up more than 1,000 retweets combined on the Rebels football Twitter, was early enrollee and quarterback Shea Patterson, along with local Rebel and wide receiver DK Metcalf. Now Metcalf is the only Mississippian, not only the only Mississippian that we saw over social media today. Four-star safety commit Deontay Anderson's announcement literally proved the sky is the limit, as video of his skydiving Rebel commitment continues to make its way across Facebook timelines everywhere. Ole Miss head coach Hugh Freeze also made an appearance on Twitter today, tweeting a big welcome to wide receiver A.J. Brown by posting a picture of Brown and his parents with the title of family across it. Brown has also held a strong presence on Twitter, expressing his excitement as an Ole Miss commit and also mentioning Mississippi State head coach Dan Mullen. Brown tweeted saying, "I'm the bad guy of Starkville now. Ask Coach Mullen how many times he came and saw me, and I can count on one hand. I could care less, honestly." However, my personal favorite social media splash of the day came from our very own head coach, Hugh Freeze, as he tweeted, "What a great day for Ole Miss football. I absolutely love our class and their families. Best wishes to those that chose other places. #do good work." Overall, the Rebel recruits have been dominating the social media scene today, and in the anticipation will only increase as we get closer to the 2016 Rebel football season. There was lots of commotion at the quarterback club today. Walter Lowell was there to get the reaction from some of Ole Miss's biggest fans.
Today, the Oxford Conference Center hosted the Ole Miss Quarterback Club for National Signing Day. Fans like Stacey Wall gathered to watch top recruits join the Ole Miss football program.
This event is the best thing they do. I've come to it 3 or 4 years now, and it's just a great event, and it's an exciting time, and what a great day.
Former Ole Miss offensive lineman Craig Frigo emphasizes the importance of this year's recruiting class.
Coming from an offensive lineman's perspective, the left side is we're in dire need of a left tackle now that Laramie Tunsil left, and I think who better than another 5-star to take his place? Greg Little. That's huge for us and for Ole Miss's future.
The event concluded with an appearance by Hugh Freeze and the rest of the Ole Miss coaching staff. Defensive line coach Chris Kiffin is eager for this recruiting class to prove themselves.
We feel really good about the class. Obviously, top 5 class in a bunch of different polls. From top to bottom, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the best left tackles in the league.
Hugh Freeze's recruiting class finishes 3rd in the SEC and 6th in the nation.
Guarantee in the next 5 years I'd put $1 million on a national championship.
Thanks, Chandler. We've still got more to talk about, but we'll be joined by Scout.com Suda Upadhyaya to get his thoughts on this huge day of recruiting. We'll be right back. All right.
Basketball is my sport.
Baseball is my sport.
Softball is my sport.
Football is my sport. Excelling in the classroom is my job.
Your time in the classroom is important.
Make it count.
Make it count.
Make it count. Make it count. Go to class.
Go to class.
We excel on the court and in the classroom. You're here for a reason.
Prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself. Go to class. Be a rebel. Be a rebel. Be a rebel. Go to class.
Go to class.
Go to class. Just go to class.
Por favor, ve a clase. It's simple. Just go to class.
Don't be a knucklehead. Go to class.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook.
But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Welcome back to the NewsWatch Ole Miss Signing Day special. Now we're joined by the expert of the Ole Miss Spirit, Sudu Upadea. Sudu, how's it going?
It's going well, man. Great to be here.
Now, first question I want to ask you, we heard about the allegations last Friday against Ole Miss. Do you think that had any impact in today's signings?
Overall, no, it didn't. Coach Freeze did say that, they addressed it. They were very proactive about it, talked to recruits and their parents about it when they were here for their visits. When he had personal one-on-one times with them, he said, if you have any questions about them, I'm more than happy to answer it. But when it came to personal kind of individual battles they had with certain recruits with other schools, it definitely had a little bit of an impact, as he said in his press conference today. But overall, they really didn't affect Ole Miss that much.
Now, overall, what would you say was the key ingredient for this class to come together?
I think it was the early enrollees and the guys that committed early on. Guys like Shea Patterson, DK Metcalf, Benito Jones. Those guys coming in early really helped this program recruit other kids because the coaches can only do so much. But when you have top players in the country committed early on, they can go to camps, different all-star games and be like, look, we're trying to build something special at Ole Miss and we want you to join and help us. And, it's easier when your peers are telling you to do something versus adults, and that's kind of what happened, I think, here at Ole Miss.
I think most would agree the running back position has been the weakest position that Hugh Freeze has developed offensively. But with Devon Penniman coming in, do you think he's the best back that Freeze has recruited?
I think he's up there. I don't know if he's the best one. I don't think I'd be ready to say that yet just because we don't know how he's going to pan out. I think he's still very raw. But if you look at his size, 220 pounds, 5'11", he's got the ability to be a very good SEC running back. I think he still needs to work on some lateral stuff, lateral movement, and a little bit of vision. But I think in a few years, Devon Penniman will be pretty good for Ole Miss. Yeah.
Now, we've talked extensively on this show about some of the top players, the five-star guys. But who are maybe is one player that is underrated that Ole Miss fans should look out for?
I think there's a few underrated guys. I think there's so much star power in this class that a lot of people are forgetting some of the other guys. Two names are Charles Wiley from Stockbridge, Georgia. He's already very big and fast, and I think he can get bigger and faster. And it's going to be very good for Ole Miss, the defensive end position, where they only committed him. He's the only one outside of walk-on Corbin Harmon. So he's going to need to step up. That would be a name that I think a lot of fans will know. And then Greg Eisworth from Grand Prairie, Texas. Very similar to Cody Pruitt, an athlete, played multiple positions in high school, and he's a ball hawk. Goes to the ball, loves to hit, and I think he's going to be a big one in the years to come.
Now, Sudu, the 2013 class, a lot of experts said they got to win, if not an SEC championship, a national championship. None of those happened, but now, top 5, top 10 class, what is their expectations for the next 3 to 4 years?
I think an SEC championship is definitely within reach for this class. You have a guy in Shea Patterson, a guy in Greg Little, a guy in Deontay Anderson. Those are the three top players in their positions. And on top of that, you have many other 4-stars and even some 3-stars on this team that I think are kind of underrated and people are not really talking about them. They're flying under the radar. And I think just all of that talent put together with some of the other classes Hugh Freeze has, I think it can really push Ole Miss to the top and go get that SEC title in the years to come.
Great stuff by Sudu Upadea, as usual. Thank you for coming on, Sudu.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Brian.
All right, well, coming up, we're going to give our final thoughts on this recruiting class. We will be right back.
Good.
The Ole Miss Rebelettes are currently recruiting cheerleaders and dancers ages 5 to 17 to join the basketball Junior Rebels team. Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime to perform in the brand new pavilion at Ole Miss at halftime of the men's basketball game versus Vanderbilt on Saturday, February 6th. Be sure to register by February 4th to secure your spot and reserve your tickets. Join the Junior Rebels team at Hotty Toddy.
Basketball is my sport.
Baseball is my sport.
Softball is my sport.
Football is my sport. Excelling in the classroom is my job.
Your time in the classroom is important.
Make it count.
Make it count.
Make it count. Make it count. Go to class.
Go to class.
We excel on the court and in the classroom. You're here for a reason.
Prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself. Go to class. Be a rebel. Be a rebel. Be a rebel. Go to class.
Go to class.
Go to class.
Just go to class.
Por favor, ve a clase. It's simple. Just go to class.
Don't be a knucklehead. Go to class.
Now, welcome back to the NewsWatch Ole Miss Signing Day special. All right, let's give our final thoughts. Michael, we'll start with you.
Well, Browning, great class, and I think a lot of people are not realizing how great Shea Patterson is going to be. This guy has the potential of Eli and Archie. If he can pull through and get it, I think he will be the next leader and hopefully the SEC champion quarterback we've been looking for.
Kelsey?
This is the highest ranked, fourth, which they ended up on ESPN.com, is the highest ranked recruiting class in this program's history. It's the fourth straight top 15 class for Hugh Freeze. And I think what this proves is that he has that consistency. That was the question, was could he continue to bring in these big classes, these big recruits? And I think for the fifth year, he shows that he can and that this program is only going up from here.
Well, I mean, it's a great class for Freeze. There's a lot of talented guys. You know, with a lot of guys gone, the linebacker position is really thin right now. You know, JUCO linebacker David Loftus-Saga, when he flipped to Utah, you know, I think it's going to be kind of a tough thing to get linebackers, but I'm curious to see how Freeze addresses the linebacker position. You know.
Well, guys, that wraps up the show. This was fun, right?
Yeah.
Loved it. Thank you all for joining us so much on this very special night. If you missed us, you can catch up with this broadcast on our YouTube channel, NewsWatch Ole Miss, anytime you like. And NewsWatch will return tomorrow at its regularly scheduled time. I'm Browning Stubbs. Good night.